Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're new. My name is Olivia and this is my channel where I love to talk about all things nail polish. This video is another one in my series where I'm sharing some of my favorite nail polishes, specifically flake toppers, and showing you not just what they are, but really giving you some examples of how I like to use them. And the idea being that if you are trying to get more out of the nail polishes that you already have in your collection, I hope I can give you some suggestions for how I use flake toppers in these different colors and flake density so that you can get some inspiration and, see what you might have in your collection that's similar. Now, I've already done, so for flake toppers, I've already done a video on my favorite iridescent flake toppers. I did one on my favorite black, silver, and gold flake toppers. And now this one, I thought, as I was planning this, I was like, my favorite rainbow color flake toppers, but then I realized that it's really just gonna be like red, green, and blue. There's a total of 4 of them. So there's a red one, a green one, and 2 blue ones. And then at the end, I'm gonna show you how I use polish making supplies to make my own like homemade flake topper that is actually not red, green, or blue, but it's gonna be like light pink. But it's my channel, I can call this whatever I want. Who knows what I'm calling this, but yeah. Where was I going with this? Okay, yeah, so a couple things in case you missed those other videos that I was talking about. I put a link in the description that you can easily go to that playlist and check those out. And something that I'll say as we're getting into this is that if you've been watching my videos, you've probably heard me say on more than one occasion that the concept of flake density is very important. If you have no idea what I'm talking about, flake density is referring to the concept of like when you are looking at how a flake topper spreads over a nail, it's the question of how packed is that topper with flakes. Is it something that is like a flaky bomb where you've got a ton of flakes packed in there, or is it more sparse? And I want to bring this up now because it actually surprised me a bit as I was planning out this video and figuring out which polishes I wanted to pair together with the flake toppers I'm showing you today, because I will say that the main takeaway that I saw, that I don't think it's a hard and fast rule, but what you'll see is that I found when I'm using a flake topper that has a lower density, meaning that it's more sparse and that you can see more of the underlying polish that you put it on top of, lower density flakes for me tend to work better with like with cream polishes or with jellies or with crellies, things that don't really have a whole lot going on within them. But then I found that when I was working with my flake toppers that have a higher density, so where you have more flakes packed in there, you don't see as much of the polish you put it over top of, I found that using a shimmer with that, a shimmer underneath tended to work better, or to pair that together with some kind of jelly on top. There's a lot of mixing and matching that's going to go on in this video, and I will explain everything along the way, but just wanted to give that context. We're going to be talking about flake density. I'm so sorry in advance if I say flake density like more than 5 times in this video. I think it'll probably be at least 10. We'll see. But in any case, as always, please feel free to pull out some swatch sticks, pull out a swatch wheel, grab your flake toppers that you've got in your collection, and you know what? Let's have some fun with this. All right, to begin, as always, Part of my swatching process for these videos is to do like a white black split. And I know often in like online nail polish communities, people will often ask for advice about like what are some good staples to have in your collection. For me personally, my go-to white polish is this one that's technically off-white, but just ever so slightly off-white, from Cracked, called Crinkled Linens. And then the black one that I use is Bee's Knees Lacquer Void, which, fantastic. Okay, so with that being said, the first one for flake toppers that we're gonna look at today is a red one from Spectrum Cosmetics, Slay. I am a little hyper tonight, so y'all are stuck with me. Okay, this one is a, I love red. I have red hair, so I knew that I was going to need to have some kind of red flake topper in my collection. So let me start by showing you this over white and black. And once again, you'll start to see what I mean when we talk about this concept of flake density. I think I mentioned this as well when I was doing my videos about my favorite glitter toppers, that my personal preference is for toppers to have a lower particle density, because if it's the case that, say, I look at what we've got right here and I think, that's not enough, I want more, I can always go back and layer on more. I think it's very rare that I would want to overwhelm my nail with too much stuff. So I personally tend to err on the side of less is more. But I really love this this flake topper Slay. It's just brilliant color and also just the perfect size density for me, where you get just enough to be able to see like, okay, yep, there's some red flakes on my nail, but not so much where you're like, whoa, there's a lot going on. So going on to two examples of how I would recommend using a red flake topper like Slay in your collection. I'm using, some of you might be surprised actually with seeing like, wait, why do I have like pink and blue here together with red? I know, but just like, trust me, this is, hear me out. This is going to look real nice in just a moment. You'll see what I mean. The pink cream polish that I have, both of these are actually from Blank Beauty, which I highly recommend their creams for their quality. They're just fantastic formula. Very wide color selection. You can even like upload a photo and do a color picker, make your own custom color polish. So this pink one is it was a mystery polish that I got with one of my orders, but they absolutely have other ones like that on their website that are not mystery. And then the light blue one, when I bought it, it was called Nautical Nonsense, but I believe it's currently called Pool Boy on their website. So we're going to do a couple things with this, and first let me put Slay on both of these, and then I'm going to talk a bit about how I first started planning out this video and why I'm choosing to approach it in the way that I am. Okay, so for this first one, red and pink, you know, Valentine's Day is coming up, so this could be a fun combination here. And also the red over blue, like this light baby blue. This is a good combination that I actually like to use around Christmas time. It's not your typical like red and green, but I think it gives like a nice vintage nostalgia Christmas feel. Okay, so as I was planning this video out, originally I thought, well, I'm obviously going to show these toppers over white and black, and then I want to choose some colors to put it over. But I had to pause and think. I was like, Olivia, let's kick this up a notch. Let's elevate this. And so I feel like by this point, I've created so many videos about various types of toppers that I want to be able to show you how to use some of these toppers together with each other to have even more of a complete look for your manicure. Not to say that you couldn't just stop here. I mean, this is totally valid, but after I show y'all what we're gonna do next, you probably are not gonna wanna just stop here. So one of my favorite shimmer toppers is this one from Fancy Gloss. It is Let It Glow Red Pink. And it's something I've mentioned a lot about shimmer toppers in general, but like this one in particular, I know has a tendency to do this. If you put this over a darker color, it will, you know, the darker color will kind of disappear in the background, and it will amplify the shimmery red that's on top of it. On the other hand, if you put a shimmer topper over a lighter color, what that will do is still allow you to see the color that is underneath, but with a nice like pale shimmer to it. So let me show you what I'm talking about. Also, just a spoiler or something that's going to come up later on, I want you to keep note of the fact that right now I'm doing this in the order of doing cream polish, followed by flake topper, followed by shimmer topper, because looking ahead, there's going to be another example of one where I do cream polish, shimmer topper, then the flake topper. So because sometimes what will happen is that you'll want to test this out and mix things up a bit. So let's do this over the pink one first. I know it's not looking like much just yet, but let me zoom in on this. Actually, let me do both of them and then I'll zoom in on them. You can actually, as I'm looking through the camera, I can actually see it picking up already. It's interesting. It wasn't picking up when I was just looking at it with my eyes. I think probably because of how the light has a little bit of a glare on it, but oh, this is such a great combination. Okay, now let's zoom in on this. Okay, do y'all see what I mean? Like, it is such a subtle difference to have that red shimmer on top of that. And but part of why I love combining this here is that it doesn't like cover up the pink or the blue, but what it's doing is that at least here's how I'm looking at this. You've got a red flake topper, and so now that you've added on a red shimmer topper over that, it's helping your eye to get reminded even more of that red that's there. And one of the benefits here, I think, of putting the shimmer topper over the flake topper is that the red flakes are actually picking up some of that additional shimmer as well. So like, if you take a look at the pink one right now, do you see how like where the light is hitting it right there in the my shadow fingers coming up all creepy, like, yeah, sorry, I'm just being weird. But you see what I mean about how like when the light hits it and you see that shimmer, it's just, yeah, it's a very subtle thing, but y'all, this is one of those tricks where like, I promise you, you can take the most like basic pieces of nail polish components, like a cream polish, a flake topper, a shimmer topper, put those together. That's the kind of stuff you go out into the world and people are just like, wow, where did you get your nails done? And then you can be like, I did it myself. And they don't believe you because they look so good. So yeah, so this is what we're talking about when it comes to like flake density, the order of layering. The last thing that I want to mention before I put some top coat on these and we take a look at these in different lighting is that I always like to, in these topper videos, talk about the concept of, do I recommend putting a glitter smoother on top of these flakes or not? If you're unfamiliar with glitter smoothers, so this is the one that I use. This is from Glistening Glow, called Glitter Grabber. This is basically just like plain clear suspension base that is being used for the purpose of giving you an additional layer of polish, but like a clear polish on top of your manicure before you put on top coat, so that it can help to smooth out any particles that are on top of there before you go on for your final top coat. In this case, I mean, if we take a look at this from an angle, these flakes in Slay, in my opinion, don't really stick up from the nail a whole lot, which is good. I personally still do wear a glitter smoother with them though, just because I like having a super smooth surface. But one other thing I'll mention is that if it's the case that, say, you're newer to nail polish and you're still building up your collection and you don't have something like a glitter grabber in your collection yet, one of the benefits of using a shimmer topper over top of the flakes is that your shimmer topper is sort of functioning as like a glitter smoother. So for me, if I already put a shimmer topper over like these two nails, I don't think I would necessarily need to go back in and do a glitter grabber as well and then top coat, but it's up to you. I would say, you know, use the opportunity of swatching to test out what may or may not work best for you, and then that'll give you a sense of what you might most feel comfortable with when you have it on your nails. Hey, editing Olivia here, actually vacation Olivia. I just got checked into my hotel, and so I've been filming a few videos over the past few days to make sure that I can get all of that footage done so that I'll be able to like edit the videos, get those uploaded while I'm away. But with that, I didn't have time before I left to film the shots of lighting or the swatches and other lighting like I typically do. So I thought, well, why not bring those swatch wheels with me on the go so that I can film them in some, you can see, much sunnier lighting. And so that's what I just did for two of the other videos that I'll be uploading and posting over the next week or so. However, I brought the wrong swatch wheel with me for this video. So I'm sorry I don't have the other lighting footage for this video like I normally do, but do know that for the next couple of videos that you'll be seeing on my channel, you will get to see those other swatches in much sunnier lighting. When I left Chicago this morning, my husband drove me to the airport through so much snow, and I can't believe that like out here it's just like palm trees. So anyway, back to editing I go, and thanks. The next the flake topper that I want to show y'all today is from Lacquer. It's a green one called Emerald Owl, and it just, this is like St. Patrick's Day in a bottle. Oh yeah, that's coming up. I should make a video for nail art for that. See, every time I film a video, I'm like, oh, I should make this other video too. Cool. So again, I know I talked a lot about flake density, but this is where you're gonna see why. So before I swatch this on the wheel, I want to show you what happens when I just swatch this out just like with a full-on swipe, and then after that I'll show you how I actually use this one when I use it as a topper. So if I just, you know, get my brush loaded up. This bottle is about halfway empty, so it's taking a bit to get there. Okay, there we go. Here we go. And then if I just spread that out, there's a lot on there. And me doing those additional swipes, that wasn't to like pack more on there. I just was spreading out what I had on the brush and just evening it out, you know. It's a lot. I mean, depending on the look that you're going for, this could actually be the vibe that you want. But for me personally, it isn't often the time where I want to go this flake heavy. And by density, let's just compare real quick. If we take a look at how much of the white you see with Slay, the red one on the left, and how much of the white you're seeing with Emerald Owl on there, not as much. So if you are wanting to use this particular topper just straight out of the bottle with just swiping on, this is the result that you would get. But the way that I like to do this as a way of being able to kind of like find a way for me to work better with some toppers that can be very flake heavy is I start by loading up my brush. Then I like start at the bottom of the nail, kind of put it in like a little pool there, and then I like dab around like that, just very like, this is not, wait, hold up, there we go. I know this is probably going to look almost exactly the same, but what's happening here, and I think I might have even put a little bit too much on my brush. That was the first thing I would say, is that step one is to like not put nearly as much on your brush. So let me show you my other swatch wheel where the swatch wheel that I use as I prepare for videos, so you can see like an example of how I actually did this better. So just look at this one here instead. This is how it looks better when I do this with not loading up the brush as much. I think I was getting a little too excited about flakes, which is what happens when I film these videos. So this is just one example of how you can still work with a flake dense topper like this and still get the results that you want. Like I mentioned in the intro to this video, it really surprised me when I was planning this out and I couldn't quite figure out exactly how I best wanted to represent Emerald Isle as a topper over a couple of options. I did it over a few cream polishes, various colors, but it just didn't feel quite right to me. And then I thought, well, let me try this over some shimmers. And I'll show you why I think this ended up as a much better result for me. So the two that I'm using, the green one comes from Linby Designs. I love this this polish name. It's called Earth Without Art. It's just eh. And then the pink one is from Polish for Days, and it's called What Was I Made For? And so what I'm gonna do this time is start by not putting nearly as many flakes on my brush. So I'm gonna like swipe that out a little bit. Okay, that should be better. And now let me show you how I do this. So you see the difference there? This is what I was trying to go for, but I just was like, plop. And when you do this, it will, at least to me, it almost feels wrong at first, because you basically want to have so few flakes on your brush as you're like wiping this around that it almost feels like your brush is dry, which feels weird to me because nail polish is liquid, and I know what it feels like when I put liquid nail polish on my nails. But with this, you're basically kind of like just putting the flakes on, and it takes some trial and error. I mean, obviously, exhibit A, but I think the more that you practice doing this kind of method, it will allow you to still be able to get some good use out of flake toppers in your collection that you might have initially written off because of how many flakes come out at once. And there's another flake topper later on that I'm going to show you in this video where the exact same thing applies. Okay, whew. These two look so much better, right? Like, I'm actually kind of glad that I got a dense result here, because it's a lot. I mean, it's all up to personal preference, absolutely. But for me, I just prefer these two over here. Okay, so I saw these as I was planning out this video, but I thought I still feel like there's something missing here. And the flake topper on its own is great, but I thought, what else can I use in my collection that might help to give this a more complete and finished look? And that is when I decided to pull out some jelly polishes that are like matchy in terms of the shimmer polish that I'm using underneath. So for my green one on the left, I'm going to be using Emily Damali's Sheer Tint Forest, which is like a forest green jelly polish. Now with jellies, keep in mind that they are intended to be buildable, and a little bit can go a long way quite quickly depending on the formula of the jelly that you're using. So start with the mindset of less is more, and just kind of build it up as needed, so that you are giving a wash of color, but not to the point where you're covering up the flakes. So let me show you what this will look like. I'm just going to do like half at first so that you can see kind of that difference there. So like without and with. So what I love about using a jelly polish over top of a flake topper that is over top of a shimmer is that it just gives it this encapsulated look. Like it's a jelly sandwich, essentially, where you are sandwiching in these flakes. And if I zoom in a bit here, you can see that like I just think that there's something about doing green on green on green like this that really makes this look even better to me than it did when it was just the flakes on top of the shimmer. Like I can still see the shimmer from the first polish, that hasn't gone away. I still see all of the beautiful glowy green from the green flake topper, and now I feel like it's been put in Jello, and in a good way, I think. So this is one way to do that. Now for the pink one, I decided to pull out Cirque Colors Lolly Jelly, which I was very surprised and happy to see how well this paired with this combination here. So, oh, this looks like there's a fruit that looks like this. I think, is it dragon fruit that looks like this? As I'm editing this, I'm gonna like pop in a picture of what I think it is. I think it's dragon fruit. Don't quote me on that, but this here, okay, let's talk about this. So what we've done here is that we started with the pink shimmer polish, we put the green flake topper, Emerald Owl, on that, and then we sealed it up with a matching pink jelly polish. And just like here, I feel like when you are able to intentionally pair polishes together from your collection in a way where they work so well together and complement each other, that's how you're able to get end results like this. Like, I think especially the one on the right, the may or may not be dragon fruit, whatever kind of fruit that I think that is. Watch it be a kiwi or something like that, but I'm just gonna call it dragon fruit for now. But this looks like it could be its own polish, like straight up out of a single bottle, you know? It looks like its own finished product. And that I feel is one of the benefits of using these flake toppers. So I hope that what you all are getting so far from what I'm showing you here is that, yes, flake toppers are great to use on their own, absolutely, but don't hesitate to also explore ways that you can use them together with other ones. The next flake topper that I'm going to show you all also comes from Spectrum Cosmetics, which we looked at earlier. This one is called On Thin Ice. It is a, wow, I have used up a lot of this, okay. Sorry, just looking at the bottle. Yeah, this is a light blue aqua flake topper. And remember what I mentioned earlier when I was talking about Slay and the use of a red shimmer topper with that one. That was an example that I said where we do the cream polish first, then the flake topper second, and then third would be a shimmer topper over everything. Now, when I was planning out this video, I initially did that exact same order of layering when I tested out some combinations with On Thin Ice. However, the difference there was that because On Thin Ice is so like pale, and you know, it in a way it can almost verge on silvery looking in certain lighting. I found that when I put a shimmer topper on top of On Thin Ice, the light blue color was being swallowed up in there way too much, but I still wanted to get the benefit of using a shimmer with some polishes. So what I'm gonna do first, because I want this to have some time to dry, is put the red shimmer topper over these creams. So let me tell you what those are. The first one is from Atomic Polish called Lily of the Valley. Ugh, teal, I love it. And if I didn't already love teal, like I never thought of doing teal with red shimmer, but ooh, I love it, love it, love it. And then this next one is a jelly crelly from Cracked called I Am What I Yam. So let's bring back the red shimmer topper from before, Fancy Gloss Let It Glow Red Pink. I swear, y'all, like this red shimmer over top of teal cream, that's going to be one of my new go-to combinations of like when I feel like I have nothing to wear and I just am like, oh, I just need to change up my nails, but I don't know what. Watch this. Okay, here we go. Let me just even that out. Isn't that everything? Oh, I just, okay, I'm telling myself not to sit here and just stare at this for a few minutes because I will easily do that, but oh my goodness, that combination is just, I really like that combination a lot. And I haven't even put a flake topper on it yet. Now let's put this on top of I Am What I Am, which I also think looks good too. I'm sorry, I Am What I Am, that I'm not getting as hyped for you as I am, as I am what I was. That doesn't make any sense for, but you know what's in my heart. I think this looks really great too. And it's someone who often doesn't personally like wearing warmer toned polishes or polish combinations. I was actually quite surprised by how much I love this combination here, that you have something that gives this kind of warm glow to it. Like I feel like this is a sunny day by the fireplace or something like that. Okay, so those combinations are gonna sit. Let's go ahead and put on thin ice on this nail. And it is running out because I use this one so much. Okay, so with flake density, I'll say that this is just like Slay. With this being from Spectrum Cosmetics, it's definitely on the lower side of density, which is what I tend to prefer. Now, compared to Slay though, I do think that this is a polish where you may find that you need to be a little bit more intentional about, like, you don't need to overly concern yourself with placement, but occasionally I will come across a stray flake that is just sitting up from the side. Like I'm just angling it here to see if that's the case for any of these. Not really. Like I see something peeking up just a little bit there, but it's not to the extent to where I'm like, okay, I need to go back in and like maybe reposition this so it's flat. This is, it's a really beautiful color to use. Personally, I prefer it over lighter colors. Like I'm not seeing it stand out as much over black as it is over white. But now, here we go. So, like I said a little bit ago, if you put a shimmer topper over top of this topper, it's going to swallow up that color from the topper and you're going to lose out on that really beautiful blue icy glow. But okay, here's the vision. Suppose you are ice skating on a cold winter day. It's cold, but there's still some sunlight out. And then you go to the lake and the lake is frozen, and I forget what the vision was of the story that I was saying, but basically you're like, it's a cold, icy day, you're at the lake and there's sun out. Okay, that's basically what I'm getting at. Okay, and that is the vision here. So, you know, you've got the color of the water, you've represented by the teal, you've got the topper that's giving you the chunky ice look, and then you've got the glow from the sun beaming down. Y'all, it is a story in a nail. Now, if I take a look from the side here, this is where I am starting to see possibly a little bit of lifting, not too much. This is fine, but this is all of these polishes in this video. I do recommend using a glitter smoother over, so be mindful here that if you are repeating this on your own and doing the flake topper over the shimmer topper, absolutely put a at least one, if not two coats of a glitter smoother on thin ice. And now this one. Okay, what's the vision for this? Ooh, okay. This is where you have like a hot summer day. It's like hot, the sun is beaming down, but then suddenly it starts raining. And there you go. No, but I just really, for this second combination, I just love that juxtaposition between the blue and the orange. Ooh, and actually, okay, I knew there was something I forgot to mention. A couple weeks ago, I made a video that I'll link in the description about using color theory with nail polish. And one of the things I mentioned in that video is how you can use opposite sides of the color wheel to help you identify what are called complementary colors. And blue and orange are on opposite ends of the color wheel, and that's why I decided for this particular combination, with this being a blue flake topper, I wanted to put it over an orange nail polish. And I've never worn this particular combination before, but I absolutely love it. And it just goes to show you how, like, when you're trying out these polished color combinations together, and you're just like, I don't know if this is going to work. I mean, you will be surprised if you rely on color theory. It can help give you some combinations that you never would have considered before. So yeah, this is on thin ice. I really do love the particular density of this. You will notice also that these flakes do tend to be a lot chunkier and larger than Spectrum's other flake topper that I showed earlier in here, Slay. Like here we do have some slightly larger ones up here, but just something else to keep in mind as you are working with your flake toppers. Keep in mind that not all flake toppers are made exactly the same, even from the same maker. So this is why it's so important to spend some time getting to know them, come up with a story for them like I've done here. The next flake topper comes from Starrily. This one is Lapis Lazuli. Oh, blue. I love blue. I mean, I'm wearing blue nail polish right now, so I really love blue. But like this type of blue, I love too. So again, on flake density, and here's why. So I realized that I think a month or so ago that I didn't already have this color like blue flake topper in my collection, and I was already in the process of placing an order from Starrily, and I saw, oh, they've got one, so let me buy that, add it to my order, and this will be great. And in my mind, I was expecting something that was going to have the density of, say, what we saw with On Thin Ice or Slay. And that was not the case. So let me show you on a swatch stick first what happens when you just go and like swipe this out like straight from the bottle. Okay. I'm just spreading this out. As you can see, I have not yet gone, I'm not going back to the bottle to add on more. I'm just like trying to evenly spread this out. And this is a lot. I mean, oh, it's a lot. And also in terms of flakes sticking up, you can see like there's some on the white side that are doing that. For me personally, I just don't like this kind of intense look from a flake topper. And I thought there's got to be a better way. And that's why I wanted to show you, like I did for the green topper, how you can still like make the most out of using a flake topper like this if it turns out that you get one, but it just is way too jam-packed. So just to recap what I did with the green one, I take my, what do you call it? Brush? Sorry, I'm filming this video on the last night, on a Thursday night before my last day of working, before going on a week of vacation. So if I'm extra hyper, that's why. Okay, so I'm taking the brush, there we go, out of the bottle, just kind of swiping it out, and now just being very intentional about how I am, in a dry fashion, just gently applying these on here. And like I said, for Emerald Isle, the green one, you'll know that you're doing it right if it feels like you are swiping on a dry brush onto your nail. Actually, one of the things, I don't know, I know I mentioned my husband is into Magic the Gathering. I think I may have also mentioned he is into like painting miniatures that he's used for things like Warhammer, 40K, and one of the videos that I have lined up that I'm going to plan and film at some point is where we're going to talk about how painting techniques from like painting miniatures can be used in the world of nail polish. Because when I said dry brushing, I was like, huh, Jack talks about dry brushing a lot. So here's what we've got when we've done this in a slightly more intentional way. I mean, it still is very flake heavy, but if we take a look at the white side, for example, let's see, it's a little dark. There we go. On the white side, I mean, they kind of look the same, but trust me when I say you're going to have more control over these type of flake heavy polishes if you do more of the dry brushing there. So now let's go on to our two examples, which are just like before. I had some shimmer polishes that I was starting with to begin with. This blue one comes from Monarch Lacquer. It's called A Chilling Discovery. And then the one next to it is from Mooncat. This is Root of All Evil. Why I chose both of these was that I wanted to, okay, so I thought about this from like the color theory standpoint that I said earlier with this one here, why I chose orange. But I was finding that there weren't really many like orange polishes in my collection that I felt were going to pair well with Lapis Lazuli. I wanted to just try to mix things up and just see like, what if I did like just really, for this one on the left, what if I just like really leaned into blue and it was like blue on blue, cool. And then for Root of All Evil, that's where I thought, well, it's not like this polish is blue itself. It reads more of like having a green shimmer, obviously, but like, what if, you know, when I look at this from the side, I kind of, from certain angles, see hints of blue. So maybe if I put a blue flake topper over it, this could help to amplify that sense of blue that's there. So let's go ahead and do this as the first step, putting Lapis Lazuli over these two polishes. And once again, doing this in a very gentle way. See, I always feel like the second time I do this, it turns out better. Do you see how much better this is looking than the first one? So like, okay, I guess lesson learned for myself, if I need to sit down and paint my actual nails like this, just pull out a swatch stick and use that as the first one, because that is what I want more. That's what I'm going for. That was the test. You know, getting it out of my system. But this is more of what I like for flake density. Let's repeat this for the second one. See, just kind of like, I mean, these flakes are also just bigger too. So the flakes are bigger and there's more of them. And then you're just like, oh, I didn't realize that I pulled out that many. So you just, less is more. Oh my goodness, there's a lot of flakes that I just pulled out. I did not know that there were that. I'm just gonna swoop some of these off here. You know, with them being kind of dry, I can almost sort of get away with like swooping them off if I really need to, and not be too messy with it. But okay, so we've got that. Let's take a look now at how these are setting up or not. Let's angle it like that. Surprisingly, not as much as I thought they would be. I mean, it's a little bit deceiving because they are larger. Now, while they might not be sticking up like in a spiky way, you absolutely are going to want to use a glitter smoother, if not like 1 but 2 coats for this. Or if you sorry, that sounded really sketchy. Or you could do what we're about to do next, which is a jelly polish on top. This one is from Cracked, called Don't Teal My Thunder. Now, another gap that I have in my collection is that I don't have a true blue jelly polish. So if you do have that, this end result might end up being even better for you. But I thought, well, Don't Teal My Thunder is I think blue leaning enough for me to get this end result that I want. And so very similar to what we did with Emerald Owl over here, where we put a matching-ish jelly on top. That's exactly what I'm going to do here, because while I do think that what we've done here is okay, this is going to elevate it. So let's do it first for the Monarch polish, a Chilling Discovery. And yeah, it does look a little green when I put this on here, but I'm okay with that because it's teal, so it's like there's enough blue in there. Let's just say I wouldn't put the green jelly polish that I used earlier, Sheer Tint Forest, over this, because that is just way too green. But here, this is like, it looks like a pond, you know? And I honestly feel like when I have put a jelly polish on top of the flake topper that's on top of a shimmer, those blue flakes are glowing even more somehow. I don't know how that works. It just looks so stunning to me. And let's do this also for Root of All Evil. Now, because there is like a green shimmer going on in Root of All Evil, this is where I feel like putting a jelly topper that has some green in it over it can, you know, also work well with it, because we're playing that up. And that, I love this too. This is like something I would wear when I'm just really wanting to have a kind of polish combination that is a little bit out of my comfort zone in terms of having like a like the brown purplish feel that's in Root of All Evil, without having that be worn over black to like amplify the shimmer in that. But it's done in a way where you've got this blue in there now, and it's I don't know, if to me this is just another really stunning combination. So what I'm trying to say here is, you know, I think when we think of the concept of using flake toppers, it's very easy to get limited to just putting it over white, putting it over black, or even just putting it over some other color cream polish. But what I really encourage you all to do is to start there, but then see where you can take it even further and put it over something like a shimmer, and then put a jelly on top of it. And then suddenly what you're doing is you're getting more new use out of your existing nail polish collection. You're getting the dopamine that comes with feeling like you've discovered something new. And the more that you do that, the less likely you are to go out and constantly feel the need to buy more and more and more. Okay, so I'm going to put some top coat, glitter grabber and top coat over this one, and top coat over these. And next we're going to make a flake topper. Woo! So the final thing that we're going to do today is make our own flake topper using nail polish making supplies. As I was preparing for this part, I thought about what color flake topper I don't already have in my collection. One of those is pink. And so it turns out I have these pink shreds from Glitter Unique that we'll be using today. And if you are new to polish making, like I was last year, y'all, I will say you will probably be very surprised when you see just how little bit, like the small amount of like glitter or the small amount of flakes that you need to be able to make one like 15 milliliter bottle of polish. Just to let you know, it is not this much or anywhere near that. So I'm starting with Glitter Unique's Glitter Suspension Base, which I've put into a little cup here. And I always personally like to put in a few drops of thinner just to get the polish at the consistency that I prefer. And then, where are my spoons? Okay. So I've got these little measuring spoons that go up to, you know, larger sizes, but for making something that has glitter or flakes, I always start with like the teeny tiniest amount, because once you've added something in, you know, if you find that it's not nearly enough, you can always go back and add more. But you don't want to start with like a whole like bucket full and then you're like, oh, that was probably a lot. So I'm just gonna go very small, like literally that much. Scoop it in. And let's mix this up. And see where this gets us. Now there have been times where I've used like glitter and flakes to make my own topper, and then I realized that it was like not nearly enough. And so as I look at this, I think I could probably go in for just a little bit more. Yeah. So I don't think I'm gonna do a full scoop of this. I'm gonna do, I mean, this thing is so shallow, trying to do a half scoop is gonna be like, what, 2 little flakes? Like, just that. Yeah, so that was less than what I had before. Also, tip, make sure to close your baggies once you finish working with them so that you don't end up getting like nail polish supplies just flying everywhere. And yeah, I mean, this is really all that it takes to make a flake topper using nail polish supplies. As for the consistency, I'm gonna put just a couple more drops of thinner in here. And that feels better. Okay. And now that I have this, I'm going to go ahead and I have a 15 milliliter bottle, empty bottle that I'm gonna use. And I'm going to hold my breath as I pour this in. I've gotten pretty good at this to where I don't really make a mess anymore. Like there's one time though where I squeezed the sides of the little measuring cup too much to the point where the bottom of it just cracked, and the bottom of the plastic measuring cup cracked, and then it was like a fracture that ran up the entire side of the measuring cup, and it was messy. So yeah, let me now put this in, move it around a bit. Yeah, and here we go. We've got a flake topper. Now, as that's sitting for just a second, as always, I've got, let me move this out of the way first. We've got the white and black that we're gonna swatch this over. And then for the colors, I'm using the same pink and blue cream polishes from before. But the difference here, and I'm also using the red shimmer topper, but the difference is that before, when I put the shimmer topper on, it was over the cream and then also over the flakes together. But now I've decided to put the shimmer topper on first before I put on the flakes, because of what I mentioned over here when we were working with the light blue topper on thin ice. I figured that these light pink flakes are so light that if I were to put a pink shimmer topper over it, I mean, it might like amplify it. You know what? Let's do some science. I'm gonna I'm gonna see if there is a difference. You know, I had this thought process that yeah, it's clearly not gonna be the result that I want, but who knows? Let's see. I normally would do 2 coats of this as a cream, but I'm going to cut a couple corners and just do like one very thick coat. And like I said in the beginning when I was talking about Blank Beauty, part of why I love their formula is that they are I don't think I've gotten a polish from them that wasn't pretty much a 1-coater. So we're gonna let that sit and then go back over. So this one I'm going to do the cream, then the flake topper, and then the shimmer topper. So let me move that to the side so I'm not tempted to use it right now. Okay. And now I'll also say, if it is the case that this turns out to not be as flake heavy as I would like, what I could do is just pour it right back into the measuring cup, put some more flakes in, and then pour it back in. So that way I don't have to, you know, it's not set in stone. Okay, let's see. There's like nothing that came out there. Hold up. Let's try this again. Come on, flakes. Y'all can do it. Okay, there's something on there now. Okay, that's kind of better, but like still not as, I think I might actually need some more flakes on here. Okay. For now, what I'm gonna do is just like spread these out so I can at least see how it looks over white and black. And oh wow, this looks really good over black actually. Okay, I need to add some more into this. So yeah, and you're like, well, why couldn't you just do multiple coats of it? I mean, you could, but then why, like if I'm making a polish, why I prefer to just add in more flakes, like even just a little bit more into what I'm putting in the bottle, is so that I won't have to use as many coats of it, because then the more coats that you use, it can end up being a little bit more gloopy. I know this is kind of contradicting what I said in the beginning about how, hey, less is more. You can always do multiple coats. But I think that what I will do sometimes, like if I'm using the red one, Slay, I don't really do like 2 coats of that. Rather, if anything, what I'll do is like a coat and a half. Like I'll fill in the missing pieces if there's anything there. So let's see. Whoa, that's a big flake. Whoa, hold up. That's chunky. Okay, let me not put that on my nails. And let's go back in for, let's just do a hearty scoop of this. That was a lot. That's probably more than I should have used. Oh well, it's gonna be okay. Who knows? This could work. Okay. I think this is fine. Yeah. As long as it's not like super thick like the blue Lapis Lazuli. This is, yeah, it's not getting anywhere near there. This should be okay. All right. I really do love this color though. And now I'm just gonna pour this right back in. Oh goodness. And didn't I just say that I had gotten better at this? This is messy. Okay, I'm gonna clean this up in just a second. Okay, let's try this again. And I think that time I mentioned about like the time when I did a little like fold in the measuring cup and the measuring cup cracked and sent polish just spilling down onto everything, that has sort of traumatized me into not wanting to like fold the cup in again, because I don't know the point at which you know, when's the breaking point. Okay, so this is looking better, I think. Ooh, need to wipe this up a little bit more. Okay, so when you do that, you want to make sure that, you know, your brush is picking up what you have put in there. You might need to wiggle it around a little bit, but I think we'll be okay. So now let's go and put this on. I'm gonna put this on the light blue one over here on its own first, because I know we're gonna need to let that dry for a second before we put the red shimmer topper over it. Okay. Yeah, this is better. Oh, wow. Okay. Yes. That is so nice. Yo, that is like, it's reading in this light as, it looks almost like silver, but I promise this is just like, it's pink, but it's just like beautiful, like champagne rose pink. Oh, why did I not make this before? I can use this with so many different polishes. Okay, let's move my mess over to the side here and try it over. Pink on pink with red shimmer, I think is really gonna pop. What? Oh, wow, okay. That, yeah. That's really cute. I'm just speechless, y'all. This is why. For anyone who is, please let me know if you came into my video series being a doubter of toppers and now you have fallen in love with toppers. I really hope that my love for toppers is coming through. I mean, this is genuine here. Like, this is why I love toppers, and hopefully you can understand why this kind of density here is what I prefer over like what we had with Lapis Lazuli. And it's there's enough flakes there to let you know that, yeah, you've got flakes, but it's not so many to where your nail is feeling overwhelmed by it. Let's pick up some flakes here. There we go. Okay. Wow. This is just stunning. I'm going to use this on everything now. And remember what I meant about how it doesn't take that much like glitter or that many flakes to make a single bottle of nail polish. I mean, y'all saw the tiny amount that I used to make this, and now I've got this entire big old bag left over that's gonna last me forever. So last thing I'm gonna do, and wow, I've made such a mess, but that's okay. I'm going to put my Fancy Gloss Red Shimmer Let It Glow Red Pink over top of our blue on the right to see if there's any difference in how this presents. But before I do, I just kind of want to pause here and just take a look and compare these two here. Hopefully you're getting a sense of why it is that I so strongly encourage you to pair creams, Crellies, etc. together with shimmers, and then also pair that together with flakes, because it just, not that there's anything wrong with this on its own on the right, but just that addition of the shimmer just really completes the picture for me. But what I'm wondering now is, when I add this on top of the flakes, will that still allow us to see this as pink, or what will it do? Okay. All right. You know, I'm really glad I decided to do this, because I want you all to see if you can notice the difference between the middle swatch and the right. And like, specifically if you are finding that they're looking exactly the same to you, what I want you to do is on each swatch, take a look at a flake. And so I'd recommend on the middle one, that one right above where my finger is, that's a good one. And then over here, maybe let's say this cluster in the middle too, as I'm like scraping the swatch with my nail. As I'm moving this around and showing how the shimmer is being picked up in the light, notice the difference in how the flakes are being reflected there. So like, when we take a look at the middle swatch, I see that those flakes are still looking like more like icy silver pink, whereas on the right, it's almost like the difference between, you know, going back to this frozen lake analogy, it's like, are the chunks of ice sitting on top of the lake, or are you looking through the surface of the lake onto chunks of ice that are beneath? And I think I personally prefer, at least in this lighting, the middle swatch, because I like how the silver glint of the pink shreds stands out enough on its own in certain angles, so where I'm just like, ooh, wow, that silver really pops. Whereas when I take a look at it on the right, I definitely see pink for sure, but I don't see the silvery pink that I love. So yeah, this is how you can make your own flake toppers. And I'll definitely still continue to, oh, that's messy. I'm definitely gonna still continue to include this kind of content in my videos. So if you enjoyed this, there's more to come. So this definitely got a little bit chaotic towards the end there with the question of how many flakes do I include in this, and spilling flakes everywhere and stuff. But I had a blast with this. I've got to say, usually when I plan out a video like showcasing my favorite different types of nail polish and selecting the colors that I want to pair together with and the finishes and so on, I usually, it takes some trial and error, but then once I've settled on the polishes that I'm going to use, I lock that in and go and film it. But for this one, I just kind of sat with it for another couple days after I made my initial planning swatch wheel, and it just didn't feel quite right. And I'm so glad that I decided to overhaul the plans that I had for this video, because I've got to say, what I ended up with was so much more representative, I feel, for how I truly do use these red, green, blue, and now pink flake toppers than what I had before. And a lot of that related to these additional elements that I brought in to show, like using a shimmer topper together with flakes, and the question of like, do you put the shimmer on first or do you put it on later? And then also like factoring in using jelly polishes together with flake toppers. It was a lot, but I'm very happy with how this turned out. I'm so happy that I have like a rose gold flake topper now that I'm gonna feel very fancy and just put that on like literally everything. And yeah, so we still have more topper videos to come. I know there's always going to be more. So, okay, as it relates to flake toppers, what I've got coming up soon will be multi-chrome flake toppers. And I've got, so if you're like, well, what's that? That's like when you have, instead of like a flake topper that's a single color in there, like just all red, just all like blue or so on, it's like you've got a blend of colors in there. So I've got a few multi-chrome polishes that are multi-chrome toppers rather, that I want to show you how I use. And just like today, I'm going to show you how to make your own multi-chrome flake topper. I think that's going to be a lot of fun for times where, like, let's say I think I actually alluded to this in one of my recent Did I Nail It videos for January's Little Box of Horrors. There was a polish in there I was trying to dupe that included using red flakes, black flakes, and I think there was some silver in there too. And in that case, that polish was just starting to add up in the number of coats. And one of the things I mentioned was that, well, if I start to feel that using red, silver, and black flakes together is a polish combination that I often, want to do, instead of needing to apply a layer of a red polish, apply a layer of a red flake topper and then apply a layer of a silver flake topper and then apply a layer of a black flake topper, what I can do is use smaller quantities of each component, mix those up, and have my own like red, silver, and black flake topper that I can then just use a single coat of. So I'm not quite sure which, I had to check and see what color flake supplies, I'm not cooking, ingredients, yeah. I have to check and see what colors I have, but I encourage you, if you are thinking about getting into making your own nail polish, trust me when I say it's something where I'm like, well, if I'm choosing to spend a certain amount of money towards my nail polish hobby, increasingly I have been finding that money goes a much longer way when I put it into polish making supplies, and especially knowing that I can test things out as I see fit. I can do like what I did in one of my previous videos where I I was using like a silver reflective glitter topper that I had bought, and it was just too glitter heavy. And so I think in that video, without me even like planning to do it, next thing you know, I'm making my own silver reflective glitter topper, which is now the one that I use. Like I felt so happy when I was using it as I was painting my nails earlier today. I'm like, this feels more like my kind of glitter. So yeah, I really hope that these topper videos, that these my favorite videos, have helped you all to uncover some new ways to see more potential in your collection, and to help you find combinations that you never would have thought of bringing together. I truly feel that nail polish as a hobby is such an amazing outlet for creative expression, especially if you are like into color, into patterns, into just like combining the textural, visual texture, I think, of like something like a, you know, a shard of flakes over like a smooth shimmer. That I just think is a fantastic thing. So I could gush about this all day. I will not, but be on the lookout for additional favorites videos coming up. I mentioned the favorite multi-chrome toppers. I think multi-chrome flake toppers specifically. I think that's the last kind of flake topper that I'm going to do before I then go into my favorite magnetic toppers. So there's a ton coming up, and if you are already subscribed, thank you so much. I knew there was something else I needed to mention. Okay. I might get choked up and sentimental here. I wasn't planning on this, but yesterday, as I'm filming this, yesterday I saw that I've crossed the mark of 500 subscribers, and that is just, it feels so unreal to me. I know I had another video recently where I took some time to thank all of you who are watching, to thank all of you who are subscribing, and I feel like I can't do that enough. I just want to take a moment to do that again, because, you know, to go from having this idea of being like, hey, I have no idea how to film videos. Like I had no idea how to edit. Like I basically, when I started this back in, I think it was September, I knew what I wanted to do, but I also had to recognize that I didn't yet know how to do those things. So it's like when you have this idea and you have this vision and you want to get that outcome that you're hoping for, but then you realize you have to go through a certain learning curve to get there, it can be tough to try to stick with it, to be like, why is this, like, I've been spending hours editing something, but it still doesn't look the way I want it to. Why is that? But then the more you do it, the more you realize that you're not only learning, but you're enjoying the process of learning. You're enjoying the process of finding a new creative outlet that you never could have imagined. Like, I just feel so incredibly grateful to have found this YouTube channel as a way to discover new parts of creative expression for myself, and to get so much satisfaction out of teaching, which is something that, if you couldn't already tell, I'm just a teacher at heart. I always will be. And so with that being said, to see that like 500 something of you have decided that you enjoy my content enough to click that subscribe button and to keep coming back for more, it just means so much to me. And I, you know, like I said, the time and effort that I put into planning these videos, and then to pause and reflect and be like, you know what, like, I thought that was gonna be okay, but it's not my best, so let me scrap that and do it again. It's things like that. It's because I want you all to know that I respect and value the time that you choose to spend on watching my videos, and I want to make sure that I'm always showing up as the best possible version of myself for you, and giving you the content that is going to be the most helpful for you. Now, granted, you all should know by now that that will come with the caveat that I'm gonna be making some weird jokes. I'm gonna be making some sound effects. I'm gonna be spilling glitter everywhere sometimes, but it's the Olivia experience. And yeah, so here's to the next 500 subscribers. This has been a fantastic journey. I can't wait for all these other videos that I'm gonna have to teach you even more wonderful things about nail polish. So thank you all so much. Whether you are a subscriber from day one, whether you have just gotten here, this is your first video, or whether you're someone who is a lurker and but you're here too. I truly love and all of you and value you being here. I'm gonna stop now and I look forward to seeing you all in the next video. Bye.